Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my platform. Those of you that are returning and those of you that are new, welcome to my platform. My name is Astraea Love, and I am going to be doing a reading for you guys today. So I hope everybody has had a good day. Please know that my readings are timeless, which means whenever you get to this message or this reading, there's going to be messages in here for you, okay? All right. So, a little update. We have now with us the Golden Dragon. So everybody say hi to the Golden Dragon. We have added a new statue. I am obsessed with dragons, by the way. It's like one of my animal totems, and I ride dragons in the dream state, but I would be like a Targaryen if I could. Like seriously. Okay. So I hope everybody has had a good day. Please know that my readings are timeless, which means whenever you get to this reading, there's going to be messages in here for you. You guys, please like this reading, tap the notification bell, make sure you're subscribed, share this content, tell other people about it. If you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps this platform grow so that we can get these messages to the people that need to hear them, okay? All right. So we are calling upon the Most High God and the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, the Ascended Masters. We're calling upon our spiritual team of highest light and resonance, including our spirit guides, our guardian angels, and we're asking that the archangels and all of our spiritual team of help put a protective shield around us, keeping us safe from all negative influence or impact, and keeping us safe from anyone or anything that would mean us harm. I pray for the highest light, the highest wisdom, the highest knowledge, and the highest truth to be revealed to me and my collective, and I pray for all of my subscribers. So now as I call upon your personal favor, God, please continue to prosper this platform. Please continue to bless us. By the way, if you guys are watching this in real time, happy Friday the 13th. So we just want to say thank you, God, for everything that you've done. Thank you for all that you're doing. And thank you for prospering this platform and my other platform. I have another platform, you guys. It's called the Psychic Tarot Angel Oracle. On that platform, we are working to getting to 1,000 subscribers. When we get to 1,000 subscribers on that platform, then I'll be able to accept $20 super chats per question. But on this platform, welcome in Phoenix Empress. On this platform, I do accept $20 super chats per question. Okay, so know that that is available for you guys. Let's get the likes up, please, and thank you. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, before we get into the reading, we're going to talk about two books that I feel like you guys need to know about. The first book is called The Truth of God. It's an advanced intuitive living workbook. It's written by Michael Steadman. The link to this book is in the description box below, but it teaches you many different things. Okay, I'm going to go over the three most important things to help creating your reality. First of all, knowing that your higher self and everybody else's higher self is God. That's a key point. But the God technique allows you to raise out of your ego into looking out through the eyes of your higher self. For me, I've always felt trapped in the psychic realm, like having experiences that I couldn't control or that I didn't understand, being a psychic child. And so the God technique has literally saved my life. It's what gives me the ability to raise above whatever it is that's going on. Oh, thank you. Okay, I will look into your question after I talk about these books. So that's the God technique. It basically is a huge vibrational consciousness shift. And when I first started doing it, the gap between me and God's consciousness was like this. The more that I do it, the less that gap is. So basically it just integrates. The second technique that I feel like you guys need to know about is the joy versus anger technique, and that is intuitive technique so that you can be asking yes and no questions and getting immediate answers back, so that you don't have to like pray, wait for a sign, look for like an angel number to give you a confirmation. It just removes a lot of confusion. And then my life before asking yes and no questions was kind of chaotic. Now, I won't say it was kind of, it just was chaotic. But then my life after asking yes and no questions, should I go here? Should I go there? Should I eat this? Should I do that? Okay, I'm divinely led. The only time I run into something like that I don't like is usually if I ask the wrong question or if I forgot to ask the question at all. So it says, as the joy versus anger technique is the most important and useful intuitive application in this book, the mind technique is of the same importance level, but designed to clear the negative mental, emotional baggage and beliefs that we are dragging around, which are creating and influencing our reality. So you can use the joy versus anger technique and then go through the thoughts that you have with the mind technique and then basically liberate yourself so that you don't keep pulling in the same situations. Had I known about that when I was younger, I would have seriously sidestepped so much stuff. But it is what it is. I know about it now. So that's why I'm sharing with you. When people are like, how do you do what you do? It's through connecting with God. And I had my abilities work on their own. But what I didn't have growing up when I was in religion was a connection to God and my higher self, which I didn't know about that because I didn't talk about anything like that. So the second book I'm going to talk about is Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. And this is the book that I've written. And this book will help you learn things about yourself. It's got different tarot card spreads for the major arcana cards. So for those of you that want to learn to read your own cards and read cards for other people, all you need to get started is the original Rider-Waite deck, RYDERWAITE. And I would go ahead and get the deck that's got the description words on it, because on the cards, so I would type in Rider-Waite deck with description on cards. Why I say that is because it just is very helpful to not have to be looking through a whole nother book to get, the interpretation. Okay, so I'm going to read from the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is the male high priest archetype tarot card. So for each of the major arcanas, which are the major transitions, I've created a tarot card spread. It starts out with a 14 zodiac tarot card spread that allows you to, actually it starts out with initiation with Visago, which is what I'm used to writing, is initiations. I've written an initiation for every single of the Arj Goetia spirits. Okay, so yeah, so you do the initiation, you connect with Visago's energy, and then you basically, you're connecting with God as well, obviously, but the 14 major zodiac tarot card spread, okay, it's got 2 extra zodiac signs in it. You pull 2 cards for each of the positions, which are going to give you information about your south node, which is like your ego, and then your north node, which is your destiny. So I'm going to read, I was going to read from the Hierophant, which is where I opened it to, but then I went back through the book. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'll read from, what is this one? This is the Hierophant. There's just a lot of positions. Okay, so I'm going to read position 7 in the Hierophant tarot card spread. This card position can show to you the current mastery that you have over your life. What have you mastered that could be of use to you and to others? How do you plan to integrate your skills and talents into your divine life purpose? The completion of lifetimes and experiences along with the lessons can shine through the card that you pull for this position. If you pull the Magician Tarot card for this position, you will know that you are mastering your own emotions and the creation of your physical and spiritual reality. If you pull the Death Tarot card for this position, it means that you are transmuting death into life and that you are working your way towards your greatest mastery. Okay, so the Hierophant Tarot card spell is to manifest lack mindset into nothingness. So it's considered void magic, but it's getting rid of lack mindset, which then I would tell you guys, after you do that one to get rid of the lack mindset, then I would start doing positive affirmations, because you want to get rid of the mindset that's going to counteract your positive affirmations before you start doing affirmations. It helps. It's like if you're affirming something, but you have a belief within you that goes against what you're affirming, whatever you're affirming, it's going to be hard to manifest or almost impossible. So yeah, the Lover's Tarot card spread is to draw love into one's life. The Chariot is to remove obstacles. But each of these major arcana cards are big things in your life, like Strength, the Hierophant. So it does a deep dive teaching you, and you can use these tarot card spreads and spells as many times as you want, but it does a deep dive teaching you things about yourself. And the little rituals in it are extremely powerful. They're very powerful. So in the back of the book, I have a compendium of knowledge of what it could mean when you start to pull the major arcana cards out one next to each other. So I'm going to read a little bit from the Hierophant. Okay, because that was what we were talking about. So the Hierophant Tarot card in the reading could indicate that the Most High God is showing its hand or intervening on your behalf or on the behalf of whoever you're reading for. The Hierophant Tarot card in a reading could also indicate that there is a Hierophant group involved in the situation. Hierophant groups can be anything from gangs, the mafia, covens, religions, the occult, the Freemasons, secret societies such as Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, etc. If you pull the Hierophant Tarot card with the Chariot Tarot card, it could mean that someone from a Hierophant group, religion, cult, or secret society is also someone in law enforcement. If you pull the Hierophant Tarot card and then the Death Tarot card, it can indicate that an ending is coming to whatever organization or secret society, religious group, or negative collaboration against you. When you pull the Hierophant Tarot card with the Devil Tarot card, it could indicate that someone is in a position of authority, is corrupt, wicked, and under the influence of the negative forces associated with the devil. And it just keeps going on and on and on, you guys. Check this book out. For those of you that want to learn to read cards for yourself and for others, this is the book that's going to help you. It's called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. I've got a link to it in the description box below. And remember also The Truth of God, written by Michael Steadman. I suggest that you guys invest in yourselves and get both of these books. They're going to help you guys a lot. For those of you that are on this fast track spiritual journey and want to ascend and want to connect with God, those are the books that are going to help you. Okay, so now I'm going to answer Phoenix Empress's question. Will your surgery in March go well, and will your health improve from then on? Okay, interesting. Okay, so what is this surgery about? Can you give a little bit of information on that? Because I am getting that, like, it's not that it's going to go bad. It's just maybe you need to schedule out a little bit longer than you were thinking when it comes to recovery. Have you ever had surgery before? Well, usually everybody has had at least like wisdom tooth removal, which is like a surgery. Also, you know, anesthetic can affect people in different ways. Okay. Like some people will weep after they come off of, and that's like just really heavy crying when they come off of the anesthetic. I'm getting that you really just need to follow like the directions very, very closely. Like if it says don't eat before, cysts and something else in the womb. Okay. So are they going to be testing for, is it called cystic fibrosis? That's usually when you have cysts and stuff in the womb, that's usually they're going to do like a biopsy of it. Okay, so my second question would be, has your period been something that has been like extremely painful for you? Because I'm not necessarily getting that this is cystic fibrosis, but you know, they're probably going to test the fluid in the cyst for that. Interesting. I'm wondering, did they say that they were going to go in just like making incisions down there? See, we have the womb, we have the ovaries, we have the fallopian tubes. Okay, so I do get that there is a spiritual issue going on that's behind this, and it's something to do with the sacral chakra. I'm just messaging the other psychic. But being able to get rid of the sacral chakra issue, I think is important that way. Because what I'm kind of picking up is like there is fluid in these cysts, but they're not, like if they were going to test it, I don't think it's going to come back as cystic fibrosis. Let me just go talk to the person. Typing it out is just going to take too long. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. But I want to ask about the sacral chakra thing so we can get that addressed. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Okay. So when we were looking at your chakras, Phoenix Empress, um, when we were looking at your chakras, we saw that, and this is all relevant because I feel like if you work on this one issue, things are going to go really smoothly. But whereas um, there's like an underlying issue that's causing this condition to be existing. So like that's what we want to look at clearing. And so we felt that there was something going on in your mid 20s and it affected your self-worth. You maybe not feeling like you're good enough for something. And so that's the underlying energy that needs to be resolved and cleared. And I'm sure that you can go within and figure out whatever it was. Um, so what I'm getting though, what we both were getting was that if you do some like self-reflection and, you know, go within and be looking at whatever happened, you know, it's around your mid 20s is what it feels like. Whatever happened to make you feel like you're not good enough when it comes to yourself, like your own self-worth, I feel like that's going to take care of the underlying issue so that when you go get this procedure done, there won't be that background issue that was causing it, drawing that experience in. Hopefully that makes sense, Phoenix Empress. Let me know. But that's what we were talking about. We were going through the different, like, is it different thoughts that it could be, like not good enough at this, not good enough that, and what we came was just not good enough or just not good. And so there could have been something that was very triggering that happened around that time. No, just knowing this, you can do the mind technique and go in and release that. Because I really feel like, you know, what we were seeing was that the if they're going to do a biopsy, the biopsy is probably going to come back benign, like not harmful. We didn't feel like it was cystic fibrosis, but whatever the underlying issue was that was causing this situation to occur, it just feels like if you go within and you release that, then these cysts are not going to form again. That's like literally what I'm getting. So when they go in to drain them or do whatever they're going to do, I also got that just to plan, if they tell you like it's going to take you 3 days to recover, I got like plan another 3 days. Give yourself a little bit of window of time. Make sure that you have somebody already set to drive you there or whatever, or to take you home, whatever it is. Make sure you have like all of your medications and stuff filled before. If you have to do a fast, you know, if they're going to put you under anesthetic. But yeah, sweetie, you're going to be fine. I just want you to go within and release whatever the issue was that triggered this situation. And it does have to do with your self-worth, but also your sacral chakra, which is so your solar plexus and your sacral chakra. You know, it may help you. Your dad will be there. Perfect. That is awesome. That's so perfect. So it may really help you to, you know, listen to like that you can type in like sacral chakra sounds into YouTube and it'll bring up like binaural beats. It'll bring up all sorts of different things. I feel like working on the sacral chakra and working on the solar plexus chakra, because I do feel that there's a lot of nervous tension, but I really feel like as long as we just get cleared, and I'm going to send him a message really quick to tell him to clear the energy so we can clear it temporarily. But that's why doing the mind technique is going to really help you to figure out whatever the thoughts and beliefs were. And I feel like you don't have to know exactly what it was, just the thoughts and beliefs that were triggered from it. Because that's what's caused this. It's something that started in your I would say like mid 20s. But yeah, you're going to do just fine. I feel like make sure that you're stocked up on like especially if you do have to go through an anesthesia part. Make sure you're stocked up on Gatorade, water, stuff like that. Um, and your dad being there is going to be really good. And then make sure that you have, because it can be very uncomfortable afterwards. I went through a similar surgery when I was younger that was like that. They took out like a chunk of my fallopian tube and tested it. And I had cysts that were benign, and they tested that. But anyways, I just remember that like moving around, walking around was like just really uncomfortable afterwards. So yeah, I would set everything up so that you have like a comfort zone, basically, set your pillows up so that, if you, I would literally create just a comfort zone in your house and make sure that things are easily accessible. Cause I'm sure that your dad will be there for a little bit afterwards, but like, then when he has to go home and sleep and stuff, you want to make sure that you have everything close, and then give yourself a little bit more of a grace period, maybe 3 more days before you start getting back to regular activities. And like regular activities would be like doing the dishes, like that type of thing. And your dad's energy seems really good. So I feel like, if you need anything, you can call him, okay, and he'll be there for you. But yeah, I feel like you should go into this experience once you have this. Oh, welcome everybody coming into the chat. Once you have this issue, that whatever the trigger was, and we're going to clear the issue, but like I said, we can only clear it temporarily, like, because if you don't release the thoughts and beliefs that cause the issue, then we can only clear it temporarily. But I do get that you're going to be able to yeah, so if you guys have any personal questions, instead of spamming the chat, you can send me a $20 super chat with your question, and I will make your question a priority. But I'm answering Phoenix Emphasis question. So yeah, so you'll basically, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like we can clear the underlining energy of it, but if you're still thinking the same thoughts that caused it, which again, it has to do with you believing or feeling like you're not good enough. And then with you doing the mind technique on that, I would like write down every storyline that has to do with you not thinking or feeling like you're good enough, or even feeling like you made a mistake in something. I mean, literally, you got to give yourself grace and mercy for like your youth. In fact, there's a psalm that part of the psalm says, God, please forgive me for the hubris of my youth. Like, and I'm not thinking, and I don't feel like you've done anything that you deserve to be judged for or anything like that. But I'm just bringing that up because like showing yourself some grace and mercy when it comes to whatever it was that you went through, and then realizing that at that point you had adopted a belief that you were not good enough for something. And I did get that it could have to do with having children. And I don't think that that's not true. I think that you are good enough to have children. But I also want you to clear the self-worth issue, because it's a relationship issue with yourself. And we could take that to the highest degree of yourself as God. But yeah, I feel like you're going to do, oh, you just felt very irresponsible and reckless. Yeah, so I would work on releasing those emotions and beliefs and thoughts, and really just going through each of the storylines of whatever you were thinking and going, is it serving me to think this? Because even if you were, so I think almost everybody was reckless when they were younger. Even if you were reckless, that is okay. You're making better choices now. And I feel like just giving yourself at least 3 more days to recover, because you may feel, especially if they give you pain medicine, which they might do, pain medicine can like, I don't know, I have like an adverse reaction to it, but it can make you really, really drowsy. And so just make sure that, that you're staying on your time schedule with the pain medicine. If they give you anything, I'm sure that they will. Any type of surgery where they're going to cut into you and stuff. But yeah, I get that your doctor is a good, you wasn't ready to be a young mother back then. Yeah, that's exactly what we picked up. That was literally what we picked up back then. And so, yeah, when we were talking, that was literally verbatim what we just picked up. So, yeah, so you know what it is. And you know what the thing is that this surgery is not going to stop you from being able to have children if you want to have children in the future. But it's just going in and without the extra thing in the background causing the situation to be created. When this procedure is done, with you doing the inner work, when this procedure is done, I don't feel like it's going to form again, like the condition, which I think is going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. So yeah, releasing, if it's guilt or whatever it is, any beliefs that are like no longer serving you. If I had to do with a mishmorshman or anything like that, again, show yourself grace and mercy. I know what the Bible says, but nobody is perfect, and I can tell you through my own experience that you will be forgiven. Okay? I mean, you're not even going to be judged. That's to the point. God loves you so much that God does not judge us in the way that we deserve. There's another psalm that says that. It's like God never repays us like it for verbatim for whatever we do. And again, I'm not somebody, I don't think that Shmish Morshman is bad. I really don't. I think that planning parenthood, like, and being responsible, I think that that is the best thing that people can do for themselves and for their genetics. If I ran the country, I would have people being genetically tested to make sure that what they are going to create as another living being is not going to have anything genetically going on with them. I think that we could literally, how the Anunnaki do things, if we had that technology, which we might have some of it, I think the world would be so, yes, going through imposter syndrome. Yeah, absolutely. But you're not an imposter in your own life, and it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. And again, I don't think it's a mistake, honestly. I just feel like it affecting your self-worth, that's probably the only mistake. And I wouldn't even call that a mistake because it's just a side effect of, feeling like you could be judged or that you did something wrong when you didn't do anything wrong. And I literally get that for whatever it's worth, the situation would not have come to full situation had you gone through that situation fully. So I feel like you're going to be just fine. But yeah, releasing, and anytime you catch yourself going into that imposter like mindset, go, okay, where's the grace and mercy that I'm showing myself? Like, obviously, the divine is showing me grace and mercy and has no problem loving me. And so, what is it with me that I'm holding something against myself? And just know that you can only make the best choices that you can make for that time. Like, and you can't really expect anything else of yourself other than to make the best decisions that you can make. And, everybody had a young and reckless side of themselves. I think almost everybody on the planet has. And so, yeah, you're going to be just fine. Like I was saying, though, make sure that you have like fluids to drink, right? Because when you go get put under anesthesia, they will tell you like not to eat or drink anything for like, I don't know how many hours it is, but it seems like it's fucking forever. It literally does. Last surgery I got, I was like, oh my God, like so annoying. So yeah, just make sure that you don't eat or drink anything in that time frame, but have your house already stocked up with Gatorades, because you'll want to replenish your electrolytes with water also to cleanse yourself out, and then make sure you're stocked up with food and stuff like that so that you're not having to like order Uber Eats and then get up and walk to the door. Because I get that after it's done, yes, go buy electrolytes. I get that after it's done, the most uncomfortable thing that you're going to experience is walking. And so you definitely don't want to be lifting anything. That's why, if you've got a dishwasher, I think everybody has a dishwasher. But if you've got a dishwasher and you are eating, I would get like frozen meals, and just that way you can just pop it into the microwave and just maybe do some frozen meals, or see if your dad can bring you some food. But I would do that type of thing, getting like simple foods like vegetables and stuff like that, chopping them up in advance. One way that you can make celery taste really good is chop it up into like small chunks about this big, put it into a container with like filtered water in it, and then just let it soak, and it keeps the celery extremely fresh. And that way you can be eating things that will replenish your energy. And then, yeah, just give yourself a grace period of maybe 3 more days. Like if they say, oh, you should be able to be moving around and feel normal again in 3 days, I would just add another 3 days to that. Because I feel like you're going to recover. Um, Doing the inner healing work and releasing what we were talking about before you go into the situation, boom, it's going to set this up for success. So yeah, I feel like this is going to go really well. And I also feel like do not stress about the testing that they're going to do. I feel like the doctor that you have is very accomplished. So, you know, this is something that this doctor does all of the time. And they may not have a reason as to why you feel like it'll take you a month to recover. Yeah, I feel like it's not going to take maybe that long, but I do get that however long they say it is, you know, some doctors will be like, "Oh, you'll be back to feeling 100% in a week." And it's like bullshit. Like, you know, especially if you're on the pain medicine, which just like makes you so tired. I would just have, you know, something that you can watch consistently, like up, and just create like a little safety den where you just have a lot of pillows and you can relax. And if you feel nauseated coming off of the medicine, you know, you can always ask them. And also if you feel nauseous with the pain medicine, which may be something that happens, is what I'm getting, you can ask them to give you, I forget what it's called. It starts with a P, but it's like a little nausea tablet that you put under your tongue. Or you get Tums as well, so that you have something that you can take if you start to feel dizzy or nauseated, because that's what the pain medicine does. It's just like, ooh. But it's good to have, you know, when you come off of the anesthesia and surgery, it's good to have that to take. And then know that you can, you know, ask your doctor too, like, can I take also ibuprofen with this? Because, you know, the different pain medicines work in different ways. Like the narcotic opiate ones, they work with the ways that the pain in your mind communicates and like the senders and receivers. But the ibuprofen works with removing swelling, and then Tylenol does something else entirely. And so, yeah, when I have pain, I have 3 different things that I take. I have like a Tylenol, and then I have like an ibuprofen, and then I have like an Aleve. And the Aleve is like a 12-hour thing. The ibuprofen is like every 4 hours, and then the Tylenol is like every 4 hours. So yeah, I would just be asking, you know, what can I take, and is it okay for me to take this? And if he's not going to give you something, he, she, whoever's doing it, if they're not going to give you something for nausea right away, then I would ask, you know, if you start to get nauseated, have no problem calling the doctor, okay? But yeah, I feel like you'll be able to get back to your life within a relative amount of time. Give yourself a little grace period, a few more days to recover, and you're going to do good. And just make sure that, you know, because I think the scariest thing about surgeries is like the anesthesia part. When you get put under, you don't want to have anything in your stomach, because that could be a dangerous thing. And so replenishing yourself, sometimes, you know, putting a Gatorade in the freezer, letting it letting it turn to ice, and then, you know, or even pouring it out in like a cup, putting that in the freezer, letting it get to a slushy consistency. Sometimes that is better than eating food right off the bat, especially when you're like coming off of the fasting part, because you'll not be allowed to take water or food for a certain amount of time. Coming off of that, sometimes it's more soothing to like do something like a slushy, that type of thing. And having Gatorade slushy is the best because it replenishes your electrolytes as well. So yeah, I feel like you're going to recover like very well. Just give yourself a little bit of extra time. Don't overwork yourself. Don't lift things. If you end up getting what's it called? A whole bunch of dishes, you know, after you're done with the dish, if you can, rinse it, put it in the dishwasher. I would use the dishwasher because I get that standing up is going to be, you know, quite painful at the beginning. Okay, so I hope that helped. I feel a lot better that we talked about that, and that way you can release whatever those thoughts and beliefs were so that you don't pull them in. And that way this situation just goes away and you're allowed to heal, which is what I want for you. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes, don't lift stuff. Yeah. But still, you know, remember listening to sacral sounds, like somebody playing the sacral chakra and then the solar plexus chakra. Maybe when you go to sleep, if you don't have a problem listening to sounds, you could put on, like, you know, a solar plexus and a sacral chakra sound bath or something like that. Or at least when you're recovering, I would be working on those two chakras. Okay, you guys. So my message for you guys, and remember, if any of you else have any questions, you can send me a $20 super chat with your question, and I'll pause the collective reading and I'll answer your question. But yeah, awesomeness, you guys. I get that as every day that goes by. And happy Friday the 13th, you guys. I think that Friday the 13th is a very lucky number. For me personally, it really is. I know other people are thinking about. Okay, absolutely. Yes, and I will play the sacral and the solar plexus bowl. Well, I'll play all of them over there. Ooh, 10 of Swords. Interesting that this card came out. So, you know what I get, you guys? I get that every day that your life gets better, it's like somebody else's gets worse. And this person's thinking like that they're being victimized. But I don't necessarily get that it's being victimized by you. I get that, like, maybe there was somebody that was, like, trying to disrupt your home life or something. Can I get clarification on the 10 of Swords? Obviously, this is not the collective's energy, but what is this energy about? A Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. The Knight of Pentacles is somebody who works very hard. Maybe this person feels like you don't have to work hard for whatever you receive. I don't think that that's accurate. I think that you guys are very hardworking people. I also get that this person, they follow some type of, like, moral coding. And I get that, like, their moral coding is off. I don't know why I just heard, like, polygamy. Maybe this person wants to be a polygamist. I don't even think that they have one wife. Where are they getting this shit from? Interesting. This person's job is basically the focus of their life. And so why are they focusing on the collective, though? Yeah, this person is definitely underestimated by most people. But again, it's because of their victim mentality. This is a person that's very conservative. So their ethics is based into them being a conservative person. I feel like this person could work in law enforcement. They could work in a governmental position. They could work in, why am I seeing somebody testing soil? That's weird. I don't know what that would be. But maybe they work in something like research. 6 of Swords. Okay, I get it. So this person is feeling victimized basically by the justice system. They're feeling victimized by the courts. Maybe this person has to pay child support, alimony. I don't get that they're married, which I guess if you're divorced, you would have to pay alimony. Yeah, they're feeling very burdened here. Which is like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, you guys, we're over 3,000 subscribers. It's taken so long, and I'm so happy, you guys. This person is feeling so freaking burdened by this lawsuit. Dang. I'm also getting that this could be like, okay, if we were going to look at it through the lens of a celebrity, this could be like, or it could be like Diddy, or it could be like Jay-Z. You know, this energy is manifesting itself with a lot of faces here. And they're definitely afraid. From their perspective, they've had a hard life, okay? And maybe they just feel like, and again, this is, for the people that do know celebrities, this could be a celebrity energy that's in this court case, okay? It could be Stephon Diggs. It could be a lot of people that are facing court right now. But I get that in your guys' situation, it's going to be most likely somebody that you used to know, or somebody that maybe they used to rely on you. And this person could be in a very lucrative field. Like, it looks to me through my lens that this person is doing okay financially. So for them, and maybe they're doing something shady with money, but for them to be this concerned over finances and wanting to steal from other artists, from other people that they collaborated with, whatever this is, like, I feel like it's futile. This person's going to continue to be burdened because they committed crimes, like, and they are feeling, I mean, it's so ironic that these weird people, these fucking cannibals and these weird ass people that literally vampired off of other people, stole other people's energy for so long, that they can even feel victimized now is like kind of a joke to me. But this Eight of Wands card just shows me that these people, whoever they are, they're never, confirmation, they're never going to stop serving Baal or Moloch, whatever. And I think that that one could be the same demon, but whatever this thing is that they're serving, they're probably never going to stop serving it, like point blank period, because they think that that's the only way. I can guarantee you guys could be the people that are showing these people that it's obviously, if other people can survive and thrive and not have to do these disgusting things, then it just goes to show. And this person, for being as conservative as they are, that is like a hoax they're playing on everybody. This person wants to appear conservative when they're really not. They want to appear like they have morals when they do not have morals. Like, this person does not follow any type of honor system. Anytime that these people get together, this could also be a shaman. Anytime that these people get together and work on something, they take 100% of the profits and then they cheat other people out of their services. I don't trust this person. I also get that they're at a major crossroads because this stupid worship shit that they've been doing. And honestly, like, can worshiping something hurt other people? It can, if you believe that you have to hurt other people to worship something. But, you know, I get that whatever this protection that this person thought that they were under by doing these rituals, it's not even there. I mean, it never really was there. These people should have learned that they only had a certain amount of time before the new age of Aquarius started. That's what they should have figured out. Because since the new age of Aquarius has began, this old way of living and being is no longer accepted. So yeah, this person could have just gotten broken up with. They could be splitting from somebody. They're looking for fresh meat, for new people, new talent, whatever. These people need to just understand that their time in the entertainment business and whatever industry that they're in is over. Okay. They may want to go back to doing whatever this other job is that they were doing, whether it's research or whatever it is. They may want to just go back to doing that. Five of Cups, because they're going to experience many regrets, losses, grief, pain, sorrow, and crying over spilt milk. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I feel like this person is going to try to turn to a religion at the last moment, the end of a marriage and relationship. Yeah. And we know that Jay-Z and Beyonce are getting divorced. So this could be looking through the lens of a lot of different people's situations. But I also get that the court wants its money. It's like, run me my money. This is how the court stays in business. Like, the government has to get money. So the reason that they persecute people that commit crimes is because then they can charge them a certain amount of money. And not only does it take them out of being able to commit crimes, but it also gives them a consequence. And then, you know, it feeds the court system, which then feeds the judges and stuff like that. So just know that this transition of power does include you, even though it doesn't directly include you. It's just that as each day goes by, your life is getting better. These people who are on top for a long time, their lives are getting significantly worse. And it doesn't matter how much they pray. I don't know what these people are praying to, but it seems to me whatever they're doing with prayer, trying to get themselves out of trouble at the last minute, these reptilians, they're not going to get out of trouble. Yeah, the sun. Because the success is in your hand. This inner healing that you're doing with your inner child, this is all up to you. It doesn't have to do with them. And when you're not looking towards media to heal you, like music or, you know, whatever these people are doing, when you're not tapping in. And the thing is that with all of these files and all this stuff that's being basically shown to the public, people are going to, they're already pulling their energy away from, I mean, yeah, record companies, like all of that, record labels, entertainment stuff. When the world finds out to the extreme what these people were doing, people are going to be like throwing up, like that disgusted. I get that this is your time to shine, though. And yeah, it's putting these people at a crossroads. They're in the Ten of Swords, while us normies get justice. Because, like, how you have got to be joking with these people that are acting like they have good morals and they're good people when we know that there's evidence of them doing very inappropriate things. I don't know how many people are going to watch this reading, but if you were victimized, this is like your victimizer getting their shit. This is you getting your fairness. High Priestess. And it's funny to me how these people can be into so much spiritual woo-woo shit, but they don't believe in, like, ever looking to see what's coming for them. Or maybe these people just go to witches and warlocks that can't see what's happening. I mean, anybody, like, there are lots of psychics that could have predicted this person's circumstance. I can guarantee it. You could even be one of those psychics that could have been like, yeah, I told you so. Shit was going to go south. Like, literally. I feel like you guys are here to gain what these people are losing because they should have never had it. And that's why when you look at rich and famous people and you're like, why the fuck are they famous? Like, I don't get it. You just have to go, okay, well, hold on. Do I need to look at something else? Are they doing something else that's causing this? Yeah, this Ball Malak thing does not want to fuck with these people. It doesn't want to give these people anything else. And it, point blank period, doesn't want to be involved in trying to siphon energy off of the general population. The Fool. I'm serious. This entity feels like it was tricked. Because it's in trouble with the Most High. I mean, literally, in the most sense that it's being restricted right now. This is why these people, their shit's coming out, because this entity can't do anything else for them. Wow. Surprise, surprise. I think it's about time, though, for this stupid shit to end. I also get that these people, they wanted to be the emperor, to be the leader, but you know, if the way that you lead is through hurting and harming other people, it's not going to go in the age of Aquarius. People are waking up to this stuff. Three of Swords. Yeah, this person is going to be betrayed because they betrayed so many other people and victimized so, like, this person is not a victim. They need to stop. Just because this entity is now going to victimize them and strip everything away that it gave, I feel like this entity does have the power to give fame and shit away, but it also has the power to take it back. And it's being told that that's basically verbatim what it has to do. It's not allowed to move forward, past go. None of that shit. Literally. So yeah. No. I mean, this is what I'm getting, is that this thing feels like it was betrayed. Interesting. So let me just ask a question. Was this thing actually betrayed? No, but it feels that way. I mean, I don't think that any amount of prayer is going to get this demon off of them. That's basically what I'm saying, because Queen of Wands. Yeah, this is somebody that was involved. I'm serious. This could be the person that's betraying the Knight of Pentacles energy, this witch. Yeah. This Jezebel energy, this Queen of Wands person is definitely carrying the energy of Jezebel. Okay, so interesting. Yeah, these people could have to go through a very long court situation with the feds or whatever. I feel like if the feds find out about, you know, well, the feds already know. I don't want to say find out about it. If we know about it, they know about it. They should probably just do something about it, you know? Like, strip these people, like, freeze these people's bank accounts and, you know, bring them in for questioning or whatever. Because these people are definitely going to sing like a canary when it comes time for that. Magician, because what they were doing with magic, They had no business doing this weird shit. Like, seriously. Thinking that they could override the general public's well-being to create whatever this is that's of a very low vibration, that is a fool's game. People are awakening to their higher selves and their own connection. And like, there may still be people in Hollywood, like I know, like Hailey Bieber, she went to a witch in the Appalachians, and the lady gave her a tincture, was like, take this every day and a Canadian pop star will fall in love with you and you guys will get married. But look at this shit she's going through. She went through all of that and then stalked Justin Bieber for years. You can find thousands of pictures of him being younger, and who's crazy stalking asses in the background of those pictures? Hailey, watching him like a weirdo. Okay, like, I'm serious. It is so creepy. Okay, but you can see how bad she's getting dragged by him and how the magic has affected his life and fucked him up. Foobarred beyond repair. You know, only God could fix that. I feel like all of this stuff is about to be null and void, whatever was being done from all different places of the world. Interesting. These practitioners that people were seeking out for their rituals and shit like that, they're going to be brought in for questioning. I mean, if somebody can go find and locate this person in the mountains, they have a lot of supernatural protection around them, but it's not going to keep them safe from what the universe is going to do. Four of Swords, this is what I'm saying. This is the end of like an era for a lot of witches and warlocks, and they don't like that. They don't like that their time to be on top is over, but that's just the natural order of things. Maybe for a very long time it was like accepted, but now it's not, and there's nothing that these people can do about that. It's like they need to adapt their practices to the modern times. And, you know, you would think that these people could even, if they really have powers, that they could foresee the turning of the tables, the changing of the tides, but it doesn't feel like they were able to see that because they believed so much in this shit that they were doing. They just thought it would go on and last forever, and it's not. And people are waking up from these spells that they've been put under with the television, the devil vision comes from the television with all of this other stuff. That's why rising above it, you guys, when you're in the energy of the magician, you have the ability to rise above whatever this is and see it from a higher perspective and not allow it to drive you crazy. Because it's pushing, it's the reason that it's like being put in our faces at this time, and this has been like a very long uncovering of what's been going on, but the reason that it's being brought forward now is so that people can, well, it's for two reasons. One, to vamp energy off of people, to trigger them, the people that can't control themselves. And then for two, you know, it's happening for a dark purpose, which is energy vampirism. And it's also happening for a purpose of good, which is it just coming to an end, and other people that should have been in power, should have been in high positions, like should have been in the music industry or the entertainment or whatever this is. It doesn't just have to do with that, but I'm just using that as a focal point. But it's like the right people that should have been in the position are going to be moving up. And this is you getting your justice. This is like the light workers, you know, outweighing whatever the darkness that was going on. And yeah, these people have to answer for what they've done. Most of them, I get that most of these people will probably try to unalive themselves, or they'll have something look like they've unalived themselves, maybe a clone or some weird shit, like seriously, and they'll go live on somewhere else. But either way, these people just need to come to terms with the fact that they've lost their power, they've lost their connection to whatever this demon is. It's not, whatever their rituals are not going to work. There is no fucking remedy for this stuff. The only remedy would be God, but I don't feel like God is just gonna be like, oh, let me just take away the karma of this. No, these people have committed enough problems to the point where the earth has almost caused a natural disaster to happen. And that would have affected a lot of people, not just them. So they need to stop being so self-centered. And all of this stuff does come from like greed and self-centeredness and wanting to dominate and control others, and thinking that for you to be successful, you have to block people, hurt them, stop them, manipulate, whatever, eat them, whatever it is. It's like, no, stop. But yeah, this is something that, like, there's a reason that the Brother Grimm stories, the original fairy tales from almost all of them, almost every single one has cannibalism in it. There is a reason for that, because it's a practice that is extremely old, and it's happened throughout all time. Anytime we think that, oh, we've moved beyond that, the fuck we have, people still think that that is the way. And why I feel like the book of Enoch is so important in the book of Giants, which they didn't want to include in the Bible, is because it does talk about the Nephilim, these hybrid creatures that were eating people. And so you could tell which giants were the giants that were eating people, okay, because their eyes were red, like the iris part was completely blood red. And the other giants, like, there's stories of giants surviving on peas, vegetables, and stuff like that. The other giants, yes, those stories are so gruesome, but there's a reason for that. Those other giants, their eyes are not red. They don't have mental insanity as like a problem. So I feel like, yeah, all of this stuff coming out, it's not to make you afraid. It's to educate you so that you understand that what's happening now is the same shit that happened in the past. And, you staying free from it means you listening to your intuition, okay? You putting up boundaries with people. You not letting other people tell you you can or can't do something. Like, literally. Seven of Pentacles. These people are very uncomfortable with the tables turning in a different direction. I don't know what to tell them, though. Like, it is what it is. They need to just invest in doing something else. They thought that they would get away with this witchcraft stuff, this, I don't know. I don't even want to label it evil because it's just disgusting. But they thought that they were going to get away with it forever. That there would never, and this one witch that I'm picking up that's in the Appalachian Mountains, her magic is tied to those mountains. If she's extracted from those mountains, she doesn't have any power anymore. And that's why I feel like the mountains will protect her. Anybody that goes looking for this person is probably not going to find them unless she wants to be found. But yeah, there's a bunch of really scary shit in those mountains. So I don't feel like those mountains are safe, not in any type of way. I also feel like, this person, a lot of these practitioners are going to have a lot of their magic backfiring. And when it backfires, it means that whatever they've been doing to people is just going to be removed. And that's what I'm literally feeling. I'm feeling like it's an end to whatever this stupid demon spell worship stuff is. Yeah, King of Cups. So look, you guys, you're showing up as a wise advisor, somebody that holds true wisdom. Not a witch, not a warlock, somebody that is wise naturally, that's balanced between their head and their heart. Even if you're not a masculine energy. Well, we all hold masculine and feminine within us. But even if you don't consider yourself to be a male, you still have the authority to give good advice. When these fake advisors are removed from their position and have to step down, the world's going to need real ones to step up. And that's partially what you guys are here doing. Just being a sound voice and reason to others. I also get that, like, your guys' personality would work well with working with other people. Just talk, whether it's like counseling, talking to them, listening to them. You guys are very good listeners. And you're not just listening from like one type of like vice or anything like these people are. They're always listening to how can I get the biggest buck? How can I da-da-da-da-da? You guys are more about serving people and doing it in such a way that it pleases you and pleases God. And this is why you're going to get justice. This is why I feel like every person deserves justice for what's been going on in the background. I really do. Page of Pentacles. Like, you may pass this divine wisdom that you have on to, like, it doesn't have to be a child, but it could be in the future. But it could be like an apprentice. What is it? An apprentice? Somebody that studies under you. Isn't that an apprentice? You could end up passing this, like, it could be divination. It could be wisdom. It could be strength, whatever it is. You could be passing it down to a younger generation. And keeping it. It could even be folk magic. Folk magic is one of the most interesting things to me because it's like a mixture of like, I wouldn't even call it hoodoo. I would literally call it like superstitious beliefs. Like it's taking like superstitious beliefs and then it's taking like using like the Bible verses and stuff like that and it's interlinking that. It is to me how people can like what were they called? Okay, if you go into like very rural places, there are people that practice like you could call it like medicine, and it's not traditional, but it is like for example, if you have something, I've heard a story of um taking an item that belongs to somebody who's like going through, you know, pain, maybe they have a bad tooth, whatever it is, and drilling a hole into a tree, putting that item in a tree, putting a nail in that tree and going in the name of the Father, boom, and hitting it with a hammer in the name of the Son and the name of the Holy Spirit, and then that person being cured. That's what folk magic is. So it's not really like hoodoo, but it is like a type of magic that people who are in these rural areas, like the Appalachian Mountains, like Minnesota, Mississippi, Louisiana, all of that type of stuff, it's like it's like it's superstition or just them figuring out, and it doesn't even have to be superstition, it could be just them figuring out certain things. Like, and I've tested this stuff before, some of it. Like I've heard that if you have a headache, you take your right shoe and you hang it over like your chair and your headache goes away. It actually does work. I don't know how they figure this type of stuff out, but yeah. And it would be interesting, you guys, if you're interested into folk magic, to look up Appalachian and other type of folk tales and just like superstitions and stuff like that, so you can learn about it, because to me it's a very interesting thing because it does work. And people out, you know, they go to these healers because they don't have money to go to a traditional doctor. And so these healers, you'll, when you start to read about it and learn about it, they won't accept payment for their services, but you can leave them like an offering, like a bushel of eggs, or you know, like a scarf. I'm just coming up with random things, or bringing them bread, or yeah, they won't accept money though, because they believe that their gift comes from God and that it ruins it if they accept money, but they can accept trading. And the people of the Appalachian Mountains, when they go into town, they don't go call it shopping, they call it trading, because that's how that society has always been ran, by like what you can produce, you bring into town and the town will work with you, and with it's called trading. So you can trade your goods to get, you know, the items that you can't create on your own. And that's just looking at like things that, you know, communities that have grown up in poverty and like learning about that, how they have been able to survive. I feel like you guys could be traditional healers where you could do something like put somebody's name in, I don't know, a bucket of water or something and pray over it and it would heal them, or show you something. Like, I feel like you guys have that ability. I also feel like you guys also, you know, this is why I don't buy into Western medicine 100%, but I do feel like it's a very useful tool. You know, I do feel like it's a useful tool, but I also feel like if we combined Eastern medicine and Western medicine, we would have a very good effect. But Western medicine says absolutely not. It could not be a energetic or spiritual thing. And like, what the fuck? Everything is an energetic or spiritual thing. So if you have anything going on in the physical, confirmation, there is something going on in the spiritual as well. So, you know, if you go, it's like people that, well, just how we were talking about Phoenix Empress's thing. It's like if you go get the surgery done, but you don't take care of the issue that caused the surgery, then you could just have further problems, and nobody wants that. So look at everything that goes on. I'm always looking at everything through the lens of spirituality, and I have to be reminded by other people to like also look at it in the physical world. Like, instead of sitting around trying to figuring out why I have a fucking headache for like 5 hours, just go take like People have to tell me, just go take some fucking pain medicine, go take a Tylenol and an ibuprofen for it. And I go, oh yeah. And why that stuff does, it's Western medicine, but why it does help is because it allows you to, at least having a little bit of pain relief, allows you to not focus on the pain. And when you're trying to get to the bottom of the pain and what's causing it, like you're just basically focusing on it and amplifying it. And that is something, that is a trap that I fall into quite often and I have to dig myself out of. And so it's good that I have somebody that's very down to earth that also reminds me that, but they also look at things through a spiritual lens as well. And it's always something I'm believing or thinking about, or something that I just was doing, you know. I mean, literally, like anytime I adopt a new belief, and that happens quite often, you know, it's just to show, it just starts to manifest. It shows up in the physical world. And then I'm like, oh shit, like I believe that. So obviously that's what I'm going to experience. And then when I can release that belief, that experience goes away. 9 of Wands. This is literally what I'm talking about. These people are going to feel very like permanently wounded. I feel like financially they are. Yeah, I do. I do feel like this is more of like these people feeling financially wounded and assaulted. What's this? A Judgment in the reverse. Yikes. That's never a good card. Shit, you guys. This person, these people are going to want revenge. They are. Okay. It's the turning of the tides. Transition of power. Point blank period. They're going to want revenge, but what are they going to get revenge on Baal for taking their blessing back or whatever? Good luck with that. I mean, seriously, it says someone's going to try to get even with this witch. So they're going to have more problems than just what it says. Loss of material possessions and salary in a lawsuit. Remember how I was talking about this Knight of Pentacles being obsessed with like working really hard and they're all about their money and blah, blah, blah. But then the card after that was the Six of Swords, which is the lawsuit card. This person is like, these people are losing all of their salary in a lawsuit. And it is what it is. They victimize people. They're not the victim. They're going to pretend that they're the victim, but nobody is going to see. Anybody that got on a plane and took a trip to Epstein Island is not going to be seen as a fucking victim. I'm sorry, but people really need to stop. They need to just stop underestimating the rest of us, because we're not stupid. Like literally. We may not be the brightest people, not all of us, but we sure as fuck are not stupid. Not dumb enough to think that this is the type of thing we should be doing. I also get that the moral path was not taken. Remember how I was saying that this Knight of Pentacles is like, I am so ethical and moral. The fuck they are. This person works very hard at hurting and harming other people to their own benefit, to get shit that they want. Literally. These people are going to get a reputation as being underhanded and undependable when it comes to their magic and stuff. They need to just accept responsibility for their mistakes, apologize, you know, answer fucking questions when they're questioned. What the hell? Yeah. These people, their inability to communicate clearly and to compromise, this could be like somebody being offered a plea deal and being that stuck in their pride and ego, even though they know that they've committed crimes, like illegal ones, you know, knowing that they're just like, no, I'm innocent. Like, the fuck? No, we have evidence, you idiots. Like, you would not even be brought into court if there wasn't some type of evidence. And this is why I feel like these people are stupid. Because they believe more in their demonic shit than they do in a God that created everything, like good and bad, or what we perceive to be good and bad. But yeah. Wow. Dissecting it for 5 hours. Oh, Paris. God bless Paris, you guys. And just take a Tylenol and be over with it. Exactly. Yeah. But knowing that behind every type of thing you go through, whether it's good or bad, there's a belief behind that. These people don't think that their belief system is a problem. Yeah, they got to walk away, especially when it comes to getting revenge. I don't know if somebody wants to take somebody to court and get revenge. I don't get that who they want to take to court is you. I don't get that at all. I feel like this is a completely separate situation. But I do get that these people are going to be walking away very dissatisfied, possibly walking into a prison cell, walking into entrapment. They're going to be walking away. They want to just be able to walk away from these cops. It's not possible. They have to answer and atone for certain types of things. And I don't think that God is judgmental at all, not in any type of way. It's always a loving energy. However, what you send out, the law of attraction, you guys, what you send out will come back to you. What you do to others will end up happening to you. That is just the law of karma, and we don't get to control when the universe decides to. And this is why I always tell people is like, if you're getting away with committing crimes against people, you need to look at that and be like, well, why am I allowed to get away with this shit? You need to look at the embrace of mercy over your life and then go, okay, I'm just going to stop before I get in trouble. And most of these people, if they would just stop and stop being so fucking prideful and arrogant, they would not have to go through this next process that they're going to have to go through, being stripped of their resources, being thrown in a jail cell. You know, these people should be very grateful that they're not in a Middle Eastern country that would stone their ass to death. I'm serious. And they're just taking advantage of, oh, I can trick the justice system. Nobody in America trusts the justice system. Nobody does. We don't trust it. It's not trustworthy. We know that for damn well sure, that you cannot trust the justice system. Not for shit, dude. Literally. I've learned that you can't trust it because it's filled with corrupt ass people. Like, the justice system, as of yet, okay, has been filled with corruption. What can you trust about? You can trust corrupt people to be corrupt, but as far as serving justice, it's not until the universe starts giving out real life consequences that the people in the justice system start following suit. It's like almost always like they have to go through something and lose something major. You know what I'm getting? Like the Green Mile. Okay, if you guys don't know about the Green Mile, oh my gosh, one of the most saddest stories, but I think it's written by Stephen King. So in the South, okay, and maybe more just places in the South, but I have heard of it in the South. There are people that are called sin eaters, all right? And so what the ritual is done, how it's done is well, first of all, if you look at like sin eaters in Appalachia, for example, when somebody passes away, like nobody wants to be around the sin eater because obviously that person's eating dead people's sins. But when somebody passes away, they will call the local sin eater. The sin eater comes to the person's house while the body is still somewhat fresh, like a day old or so. They put a piece of bread on the head of the dead person. And then the sin eater does a prayer. And then the sin eater eats the bread off of the dead person's forehead or head, however they do it. And then that's like, that's basically symbology for that person eating their sins, but then that person can cleanse that shit out of them, like somehow with, again, being a sin eater is something that's passed down through generations. So in the Green Mile, the main character, melanated guy, sweet as pie, like just the sweetest character. Anyways, he falsely gets framed, put in jail. I don't want to ruin the whole story for you because if you haven't seen it, you have got to go watch that movie. It is so damn good. But the thing of sin eating, that is real. What I'm getting here is that these people, they may want to call somebody prematurely to come eat their sins, and that's just not how it works. You have to wait till somebody passes away. And that's why the sin eating thing, that is something that I could do, but I would not want to do that. I would not want to do that because it would gross me the fuck out. And the way that people look at you being the sin eater is like they don't want to be anywhere near you. They're like, oh, thank you. Here's your gold coin, but get the fuck out like as soon as possible. But it is a real thing. You know, every type of energy can be transmuted. What I'm getting is that, you know, these people that are going to be waiting till the last minute to be absolved of something, I don't know. They need to contact like a sin eater or whatever. Because I'm literally getting that that's probably the only thing that could clear this demonic shit off of them. Like literally. Get them doing, and I don't get that baptism would work. It's not going to wash away this type of stuff. They need somebody that's got an ability, and that's death. I'm serious. When these people are facing death, they're going to be like wanting to call the Sin Eater. And in the Green Mile, one of the I don't know if it's like somebody that works in the court system or justice system or whatever. He's got like a wife that's got cancer. He takes the guy from the Green Mile to his wife, and he literally sucks the shit out of her and eats it, and then it just goes through him or whatever. But yeah, like I was saying, when you have the ability, it's a genetic ability. It can be passed down, but again, you know, you have to like really care for somebody to want to eat their sins while they're alive, because that's going to relieve them of whatever was causing the cancer. And I can't remember in the movie if the wife ends up passing away or if it's a miracle, but I just know that he does go and he does do that. And, you know, it's a very good story, you guys. Like, everything that Stephen King wrote about, if you do the back research on it, there was things that happened, especially the clown. There was things that happened in the past that verbatim, he just turned it into a story. Like, literally, everything that he wrote about was real. So, yeah, I feel like death, you know, is not an ending. It's a beginning. It's not something you guys should be afraid of. It's not even something you guys are facing right now. This is the ending of a very unjust situation that was involving everybody's energy. Page of Wands, especially innocent children. There's going to be a lot of people speaking up, like escaped victims and stuff like that. I also get that some of these children, the reason that people like you and people like me exist is for people that are going through a recovery from being brainwashed as a child into whatever satanic bullshit. They will need people that are of sound mind and sound heart and just stable to be able to show these people that they can live another way, that they don't have to follow the ways of these other people that either abducted them or whatever. And I feel like the collective of humanity coming together to heal is going to be a very beautiful thing. And I think our main focus in life as a collective should be about the children. It really should. Our main focus should be about the next generation and then the next generation. And that's why I feel like being a parent is such a blessing. Don't ever take that for granted. Yeah, the moon. Yeah, these people think that the moon can fix anything, but the moon and death, I mean, good God. Yeah, these people could have been using moon magic to create unnatural endings or moon cycles, whatever it is. But I don't think that these people are going to be able to do anything without the backing of this demon. I'm serious. And you guys are protected, divinely protected. You could be teaching other people, especially people who have been through, and I hate to say it, but satanic ritualistic abuse. Those are the type of people that need to learn about psychic protection. And they need to learn about how to put up boundaries and how to go within and connect. And so literally, never judge a book by its cover. Just know that everybody's on their own space and their own healing journey. And, you know, these people that think that they can't be redeemed, that's because somebody has told them that. These other people, they think that the problem is that these young kids think they're damned to hell. That's not the fuck true. However, if they believe that's true when they pass away, that could be where they end up, because your beliefs create your reality. However, these other people, they believe that they can just do any type of like ritual or whatever, or contact a spirit or whatever, and they can be freed of these past mistakes. This is something that is like not able to just be cleared away like that. Maybe if they were an innocent child, they would have a better start. But again, and sometimes it doesn't take repenting. These young children that were forced to engage in very sadistic shit that they should have never been opened up to, that's not their fault. They don't need to repent for that. They just need to heal and go to therapy. And I feel like you guys could be the next counselors, the next therapists, the next, what are they called? CPS people that want to give back to the community. I feel like putting the focus on the positive right now and the wisdom that you hold is going to be the best thing. I also feel like, you're instilling the right things into your children, whether it's about looking at things through a lens of there being a bigger picture, or whether it's about, and some of you don't even have children yet, but I'm just getting that you're going to be teaching these beautiful, like, it's not even like lessons, it could be stories, it could be anything. You're going to be teaching this stuff to the people that come after you. And some of you, if you don't have children, it may be part of your job to transmute this painful energy that you have into beautiful art that could then be passed, that these people could then see in the future. Like, it could be something literally like that, creating inspirational music. I think that it's so funny. So Mozart, the guy that did the music, like the piano, he was a master. He also wrote like 5 or 6 books about farting jokes. Like, you just can never like put it past somebody to be just like, oh, they're only an intellectual. No, they're also people. And so I feel like sometimes when a person gets idolized for something, people stop to look at the fact that there's more to them than just what they see, right? 2 of Cups. Yeah, you guys are also being very protected with this soul contract with the universe that you have. That is very, very safe. I don't want you guys to feel like you're in danger at all. I also get that there could be a new love affair that comes in the future that produces children or brings in children that this person could already have. I don't feel like you guys are going to be opposed to that, but I do feel like for the general populace to feel safe, these people that were doing the really heinous shit, they need to go into some type of prison or jail or whatever, some type of sentencing. The good thing about the universe is, though, you guys, that these people are going to be restricted no matter what. Whether the human world decides to do anything or not, it doesn't really matter. The universe is going to do something. 7 of Wands. This is what I'm talking about. You guys are protecting your peace, you're protecting your soul contract, and you're not just giving it up. These people can't just sacrifice you or your children or anybody else. These people are drinking from cups of illusion, and they can't balance their dark side. And this is why they're blocked. These people also, when it comes to their day in court or whatever this is, they're not going to, I feel like these people's lawyers will be walking away from them. They're not going to be able to make any more agreements to pay money and to get these people behind the scenes to allow them to do their bullshit. Ooh, a good apple pie or cornbread. That sounds good. But yeah, I feel like, no, I don't even feel like an exorcism would work on these people. I don't think that they could go to any, first of all, no. They would need somebody like the person that I know. They would, and even that, I doubt that person would be like, yeah, like, I've sat through doing a fucking 3-hour exorcism on somebody, and it's not fun. It's really not. But yeah, I don't think that an exorcism would work. Like, this entity that they work with is very higher dimensional. A regular old schmegular Catholic or any other type of exorcism is not going to work. That's why I was saying these people, what they're going to be looking for is somebody that like to trick a sin eater into eating their sins or something. Like, again. And that's why I was saying the Green Mile, to watch that, because that is a real thing. And then if you want to do further study into it, read about the people who were real sin eaters in the Appalachians. I listened to a lot of Appalachian folklore stuff and just stories that are passed down. If you guys are interested, there's a channel called Jared King, Jared King, and he has got the best content. But that's how I learn a lot of this stuff about the Appalachians, and it's something that's very interesting to me. Like, there are certain places that are just portals, and like, that's one of them. Louisiana is another place that's a portal. It's also like a place for vampires. So look, when all of this stuff comes to court, just know that the reason that the light workers are here, aka you and me, is to pick up the pieces where these people, especially the younger generation, they're going to need divine inspiration. That's why you creating your art, you writing your book, you working on your testimony, whatever it is. And working on it just means like being able to explain it. I feel like that's what's going to be that helps people. Like, we need to be able to come together as a collective and pick each other up, especially when this type of stuff has been done. And then, you know, I feel like this is going to come to an end. It really is. What these people are doing, it's going to come to an end because God has intervened. The Ace of Pentacles is with you guys. Like, literally, you know, this is not, what is happening right now does not have to do with an intervention from Jesus. It has to do with the intervention from the highest of the highest, God, the one that Jesus went to for a divine intervention. You know what I mean? That's what's doing this. What's causing this stuff to come forward, and what's putting these politicians and these celebrities and these weirdos, these people in their place to the point where they cannot continue doing this. It's literally a higher power. And that's the way that I see it, just manifesting. I also get that you guys could be eating better. You could be drinking more water. You could be exercising more regularly. Yoga is a great exercise. You know, a lot of people think that the spiritual stuff is woo-woo, and which woo-woo means like it's like made up in their head or whatever. But no, there's actual science to it. Okay. Like crystal singing bowls, they create a sound that vibrates with each of the chakras. That there is a science to that. You could call it somatic release, which is like energetic release. But again, there's many ways you can achieve somatic release: prayer, meditation, and and these are just tools that you use to elevate your frequency. Like, I think that I'll probably always need to meditate just while I'm in a human experience, for sure. But what I'm getting is like, this is like the highest of the high intervention. So as far as you guys needing to be afraid, you don't. Like, literally, you're protected by the highest form of protection that exists. I also get that you guys could be becoming more beautiful, more attractive, more lovely. Okay. Whatever this stuff that was like being directed towards you, it's not working. Yeah, this is your happily ever after era. As every day goes by, you guys are going to become happier people. So I love this, you guys. Ace of Pentacles and 10 of Cups. Yes, this is you being supported. Yeah, motivational speaker. Absolutely. It could be anything where you use your creative energy. But literally, you guys bring peace. This is why it's important. Also, if you guys are being gifted a large sum of money to purchase a home, don't tell nobody where you're going. Okay? Unless it's like your parents or something. But like, literally, just don't be like spreading it out to the world. I know sometimes we get something new and we want to show it off, but don't. What people don't know about, they cannot try to take. And I'm not feeling that you even need to be worried about that, but confirmation. But you don't need the extra jealousy and envy that comes along with it. Yeah, 9 of Swords. These people are going to be very sad. I'm serious. Oh, well. I hope that them going to whatever restriction they're going into is going to cause them to think a little bit about what they were doing. 8 of Swords, jail. This is what I'm saying. I hope them going to jail is going to allow them to think about what they were doing. What if they are lawyers? Well, if they are lawyers, like I said, anybody that was being corrupt is going to be brought before a judge. Like, seriously. Even if they are judges. And there's a paper trail. There's an electronic paper trail. So just know that these people are not going to escape some form of imprisonment. There is justice, but it's here for the people that are actually worthy of that. Yeah, you've got an Ace of Cups. You're loved by the divine. This is why nobody is going to be able to take anything from you. I feel like you guys following protocol and just staying up on loving yourself, doing affirmations, whatever you feel works for you, prayer, whatever it is, you continuing to do that is going to keep you in a position to where you can help inspire other people to heal. And so I feel like all the stuff that we talked about is important for you to know about, because you are of wise counsel. You are somebody that can spread that wisdom to others in a very beneficial way, a way that people can understand it. And I feel like these people that are going into jail, that are going to lose all of their money in lawsuits, It's just sad, that they didn't figure this out sooner, because they're still relying on like I'm sorry, but delusional. These people are fucking relying on Baal or Malak or whatever. And again, I think that could be the same entity, but they are relying on this fucking thing to get revenge for them, when this thing is like, I can't do anything. I literally can't do anything. I have to undo everything that was done, because the Most High and Archangel Michael are up my ass. Like, this entity can't do any more for them. And so for them wanting to get revenge on everybody else, good fucking luck with that. They're not going to get it. So just know that it doesn't matter what your enemies, what they're doing, it's just not going to be prosperous. And I feel like these people, this has been something that's been happening for ages. Like, you could go back to the beginning where King Solomon had to build his temple where they were sacrificing to Baal and Moloch. And the people got so pissed off that they weren't allowed to do this anymore that they ripped his temple down. Like, that's crazy. This lawsuit, it could be a public lawsuit. It could be something that's literally streamed through the public. Okay, these people are going to be found guilty. They are guilty. They're going to be acting like they're the victim. Oh, I had to do it. No, they didn't. They did it because they wanted power. They did it because they thought it would give them power. They thought it would give them money. And it did temporarily. But, for like 7 years, that's what the contract with Baal and Moloch is, a 7-year contract. And this thing, it would rather just not be fucked with. They would rather be left alone. But people, they don't know when to leave well enough alone. So it's going to be a major learning lesson for a lot of people. But I get that these ones that are in power, who's going to replace the people that are in power? People like you, people like me. We will. Naturally, it'll be a natural progression. It is a purge. Absolutely, you guys. Absolutely. You can feel what is most needed in the community. I love that, you guys. I love that. Okay, so thank you for making it to the ending of this reading. I love you guys so much. Thank you for spending your time here with me. Thank you for connecting with God and the Holy Spirit. I'm going to talk about 2 books that I think are really important and life-changing. The first book is The Truth of God. It's by Steadman. The link to this book is in the description box below. Well, the link to both of these books is in the description box below. But this is an advanced intuitive living workbook. And it's got a lot of techniques in it, from cleansing the emotions, feeling meditation, controlling the mind. Everyone's higher self is God, okay? So you are God having this experience, not an extension or a part of. You are God not existing in the fullness, but God no less. And the 3 techniques that I use on a daily basis are the mind technique, which raises you out of your ego so that you can look out through the eyes of your higher self. When I first started doing the technique, the consciousness gap was ridiculous. It was like, woo, like I literally felt like I was like on crack, like it was such a raising of vibration. But then when you get there and you're connected, you're like, okay, I see everything as it actually is. And it's through the lens of unconditional love, joy, compassion, and peace. And so that in itself, anything that's demonic or lower vibrational going on around you, when you do the God technique, you're raising yourself above that. And, it's unrealistic to think that we can stay in the God technique forever, but the more that you do it, the more consistent you are with doing it, the less of that gap is in that between that consciousness shift that will exist. It says the scope of God, you consciousness is infinite. All of your creations are particles of consciousness within your God mind. Your creation is never outside of yourself. It is always here and now within you, God, just like the human you closed your eyes and imagined all of it in your conscious mind. So like there's a lot of things that people have said that Jesus have said, and I can look at it through the bigger picture, the higher lens, and it's basically a code. Okay, it's like a code, but it means something slightly different to what it actually says. And so that's the way I would like you guys to read any type of spiritual text, looking out through the eyes of God. Okay, so it says you God, your higher self God, created a system that at birth, this new subconsciousness human mind would be very connected to your God self. That's why babies, you can tell that babies like come straight from source. Like they are freaking so, they're so freaking divinely connected and so pure. Like there is not, like the people that were thinking that they were going to rapture this past September 23rd, and they were like giving their kids to DCFS. Such a tragedy. I mean, actually probably for the kids, better for the kids because their parents were fucked up. But anybody that thinks that they're going to be raptured before an innocent child is delusional. And I don't even believe in the rapture like that. I think it's going to happen in a different way. But again, it's just like religious psychosis that some people are under. So it talks about, when you're a baby, you come straight from God. Like, you come straight from that divine. That's why children are so innocent and pure. And that's why they've been used in these effing rituals. But, it's very connected to their God self when they come into this world, but not so connected to the new environment. The more that you acclimate to your surroundings, the more it becomes a dominant thought pattern and focus. The ability to be connected to God is still there, but if it's not fostered to be used in some type of way, in some cases it can fade away. That doesn't mean that it can't be brought up again, but it just means that in some cases it can fade away. That's why Jesus was always going within. He was always meditating. He was praying, always going within, always going and Father in heaven. That's the words he used because that's the way that he could describe the creator. Do I think it's a man? No. Do I think it's a woman? No. I think it's beyond that. But I also feel like it's something that's timeless. Okay. And so, like I say, God is not a judging thing. It will sit around forever. The energy of God is timeless. It can sit around forever to wait for every last human to go within and access it. So it says the ability to be connected to God is still there, but if it's not fostered to be used in some type of way, it can in some cases fade away. When I grew up in religion, I had all these abilities, which allowed me to see things, feel things, pick up on things, predict things. But I didn't have a connection to God. I was missing this information. And so, that their connection to God, and I'm not dissing the Catholic Church or anything, but their connection to God was not a real connection to God. I mean, it was not connected to anything other than a negative higher dimensional being that wanted to be God that was clearly the fuck not. So the ability to be connected is always here. It just needs to be focused upon. That's why the God technique is so powerful, because that's what you're focusing on. The second technique is the joy versus anger technique, which gives you the ability to ask yes and no questions and get an immediate answer back. So you have and the more that you do this, the more that your communication with your higher self God opens. And so that you can be asking, and you get more accurate readings than a pendulum or muscle testing. You get the immediate answer, and then do not ever go against that answer. Just take it from me that listen to the intuition. Everybody has clairsentience, which is clear feeling. The joy versus anger technique works upon what everybody has, which is that gut feeling. Just like knowing that joy feels like something good, that would be like a yes. Anger feels like something not good, that would be like a no. And so when you start asking questions, should I go here? Should I eat this? Should I do that? Should I think this thought? Should I watch this? When you're doing that and you're getting an answer, you start to be divinely led. And then you can be there to lead other people. And when you see me asking questions, I'm literally using the joy versus anger technique all of the time. And the only time I run into things that I don't like is like when I don't ask a question, or I forget to ask a question, or I ask the wrong question. And so the third technique is the mind technique, and where the majority of my life, my mind, and I think most people's, is their ego. It just is running its own thought programs. It just keeps thinking shit. And we are not our thoughts. The more that we can understand that we are not our thoughts and then start becoming the observer of them, that will give us room to detach. The God technique will help you detach from that, but the mind technique is so important because it gives you the ability to use the joy versus anger technique, which is the most important intuitive application in this book. Again, you don't have to be psychic or intuitive. Everybody has clairsentience, and this is what this uses, basically, the joy versus anger. But then you go through your thoughts and beliefs, because you are creating your reality with your thoughts and your beliefs. So when you can start to question those and get rid of the mental baggage, the mental and emotional negative baggage and beliefs that we're dragging around, which influence the reality that we're creating, then the reality shifts. And that's why I will tell you, like, I am always doing these techniques, and anytime that something is not feeling good, it's because I am believing something that is, and the sun's going to come up whether you believe it is or not. So like, you don't have to hold on to a belief. And sometimes when we hold on to expectations and like we think that something has to happen a certain way, then we are basically not allowing the universe and God to show us what the universe and God actually has for us, which is something beyond what we could have ever even dreamt of, you know? And so that's like, I mean, I could use so many different experiences in my life. Like when I wanted to be a medical technician, okay, and I was being a psychic the entire time, but I didn't think that being a psychic could be like a real career, or being a spiritual person could be like a real career, even though it kept being put in my face that this is obviously what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be helping people. So again, but my expectation of what I thought was the best thing for me clouded my judgment. I still ended up getting to where I was meant to be. And this is why I will tell you guys, do not worry about destiny thieves, destiny swapping shit. Don't worry about that. Just know that there are certain paths you can go down in life. This is like the cheat code. It's going to get you there the fastest. There are certain paths you can go down. Like I already went down the path of religion. It did not get me anywhere. And I'm not saying that religion has no merit at all. I'm just saying my own personal experience didn't get me anywhere. Where I wanted to be, it did not do that for me. And so you just have to understand that you will end up being where you're supposed to be. Just sometimes you may take a different door that takes a lot longer, you know? And that's it. Doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make it good. It just says that it's just going to take you longer sometimes. So the second book, and the link to that book is in the description box below. I suggest that you get a physical copy, you know, use it, use the intuitive, you know, well, once you figure out what I'm talking about, once you actually do it for yourself, you'll realize that, oh shit, I'm never going to live life any other way, because this way I'm being divinely led, and I have my vibration is raising. I have a real connection, and it just surpasses all other things. So the second book I'm going to talk about, this book is for those of you that want to learn to read cards for yourself. Because again, I never had anybody teaching me other than God and the Holy Spirit, like how to read cards or anything like that. And so I wish that this book was around when I first started to learn. But if you do want to learn to read cards for yourself and for others, I suggest you check this book out. It's called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. And all you need to start working it is the original Rider-Waite deck, Riderwaite. And why I used, and so basically in this book, I created different tarot card spreads for each of the major arcana cards, like which are the big transitions, like the Wheel of Fortune, the Lovers, the Death, the Moon, the Star, the Sun, the High Priestess, the Emperor, the Empress. And there's so many, the Fool, all of those are the major transitions. And throughout one's human life, you will go through every card in the deck, being in that position at a different time. And so I've created a 14 zodiac tarot card spread that has 2 card positions that you pull. One is a south node, which is where you start out in your ego. One is the north node, and it helps you integrate the zodiac energies so that you can become more balanced. And then the spell is to step into your own destiny. These are not spells like, they're manifestation techniques, but they don't involve anybody other than you, God, the Holy Spirit, and like I have one with Archangel Michael. But yeah, so I'm going to read from the High Priestess. Yeah, the Magician is manifesting your own magic. I'm going to read from the High Priestess tarot card spread. I'm going to read position 6, the Will of Preservativeness. That's such a hard word to say. This card will show you how well you have preserved your own personal legacy. Do you have a will or testament that you are going to write out? The card that you pull for this position will help you to regulate your understanding of how you perceive yourself and the legacy with you are going to leave behind. If Spirit has anything to say about preservation, that may come through the card that you pull for this position. If you pull a Yes card or the Temperance card, that could be a double confirmation for you. So if for each of these positions, you will be checking the yes and no answer card on the tarot card that you pull to see if you're in alignment with this stuff. And then you basically get to learn a lot about yourself. Position 8, the Will of Being. This card position can show you personal truths and a way to move forward. This card position can show you the favor that you have from the Most High God in this lifetime. How in alignment you are with your inner being will come through the card that you pull for this position. Inner enlightenment and the different phases of spiritual awakening can be revealed in the card that you pull for this position. If you pull the Hermit Tarot card or a Yes answer card for this position, you will know that it's a double confirmation that you are in tune with your inner being. So then the High Priestess Tarot card spell is for personal enlightenment. And these are really easy, simple rituals, you guys. This is not like anything that's super advanced. Anybody can do this. And you can do these tarot card spreads and spells as many times as you want. You're always going to get new information. And whether you do it for you or somebody else, it will advance your reading, not just like reading actual words, but your psychic reading skills. This book is a portal. It's basically to help you understand the system of tarot and why it is used for divination, but understanding it through the lens of your higher self. So in the back of the book, I have a compendium of knowledge of what it could mean when the different major arcana cards come out one next to each other. So what was I reading? The High Priestess. Okay, I'm going to read from the High Priestess in the back as well. We'll just stay with the theme. So the High Priestess Tarot card is a spiritual practitioner card. The High Priestess is a self-initiatory and public initiation process. The High Priestess Tarot card indicates a spiritual seeker. If you pull the High Priestess Tarot card in the reverse, you can rest assured that you are dealing with a dark practitioner of spirituality. If you pull the High Priestess Tarot card in the reverse and then pull the Devil Tarot card, that indicates that the Dark High Priestess serves or worships the demonic. When you pull the High Priestess and then pull the Moon Tarot card, it could indicate that someone is working with the moon to spiritually possess you. If you pull the High Priestess and then pull the Hierophant Tarot card, it could indicate that the High Priestess has a teacher, coach, or mentor who is a Hierophant. If the High Priestess Tarot card comes out with the Strength Tarot card, it indicates that the High Priestess is extremely powerful. If you pull, and that's whether the Strength comes before you pull the High Priestess or afterwards, either way, it just means that the High Priestess is very powerful. So yeah, where was I? If you pull the High Priestess and then the Death Tarot card, it could indicate that someone is working with the High Priestess to keep you stuck or stagnant in life. And it just keeps going and going and going, you guys. But you understand basically. I've written down in the back of the book for each of the major arcana cards what I have personally seen it could mean when you have those different cards coming out. You may get those cards coming out and then go in the back and look and be like, oh, I think it means this. Like, that's what I want you guys to do, is be using your intuition and using your abilities. So check that book out, you guys. It's the link to it's in the description box below. It's called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. All you need is the original Rider-Waite deck, RYDERWAITE. For you guys that are learning, and even for you guys that are already masters, I would go ahead and get the deck that has the words on it. Like, it makes it so much easier to interpret what the card means without having to go through a separate book and like flip through it. And that's something that annoys me. That's why with all of my decks, I never read very often, like some of these, like this one, the Twin Flame Ascension deck, which on my other platform, the Psychic Tarot Angel Oracle, I do work more with the Oracle cards. But there are some decks I have that the books, chef's kiss. The stuff that's written in them is so bomb. But when it comes to the original Rider-Waite, every other type of tarot deck comes off of this tarot deck. So if you learn the original interpretations, that means you could go to any other deck and use that and still understand what it means, because every other type of deck, like this is a Twin Flame tarot deck, comes off of the original interpretation of this. So hopefully that made sense, you guys. Thank you for making it to the ending of this reading. I love you so much. Please like the video, guys. Tap the notification bell. Thank you so much, Phoenix Empress. Now we're going to do some Reiki, and I'm going to do the singing bowls. So I think we're going to do the Reiki first. So if you guys can do me a favor and put your feet on the ground. You want to be connected to the earth, okay, while we do this, okay? Okay. Holy fire. Holy fire, holy fire, holy fire, holy fire, holy fire. Okay, so we're going to bring the holy fire in, and what I want to do is kind of push out and open up the crown chakra. So take a deep breath, you guys. And we are giving our gratitude to Gaia, going out into the third eye, opening, expanding, clearing, and balancing. Okay, into the senses and down into the throat. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Releasing out any old emotions that are stuck. Now we're going to do the high heart chakra. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Seiyu, seiyu, seiyu. And the high heart chakra is like right here. And what it does, it's the thalamus gland. What it does is it opens up your ability to receive higher love from your higher self. Okay, now we're going to go into the heart chakra. And we're just going to open that heart chakra. And we're cutting all cords, all emotional cords, anything that's connecting us to anything that's old. And healing in those roots. And then we are opening the solar plexus and clearing that out. Okay, definitely just felt something release. And we're going to move that energy into the sacral and clearing out the sacral. I just felt something huge release again. Pushing that holy fire Reiki now into the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine. So all old emotions, we're just going to cleanse out. So take a deep breath. Anything stored in the duality chakra, the alpha or the omega chakra between the knees, we're cleansing that. And then the earth star chakra, which is in the earth. Okay, and then we're going to take that holy fire Reiki and we're going to move it up through the root chakra again into the solar plexus and the sacral. And I feel like I want to do a unification of these two chakras because it seems like there's a huge gap between them. So we are unifying these two chakras together. Okay, that feels better. Okay, and releasing. And from the solar plexus back into the heart. Removing any heart walls that are there, taking those down. We don't need any blockages up. We are totally good with accepting from the universe. Okay, clearing out the high heart, the throat chakra. Again, you are free to speak your piece, to speak your truth. We're clearing out also the ear chakras and the third eye. Drawing down the moon and the sun into the third eye and into the crown. And then around the aura, going into the earth in all directions. Sealing this energy in. And we call upon the angels of Holy Fire Reiki. We call upon the angels of healing and the angels of the violet flame to instill the violet flame of transmutation into this Reiki session. Okay, so I would be saying I am free. I release all things that are no longer serving me into the holy fire. And while this Reiki continues, I'm going to go play the singing bowls, okay? So hang tight, you guys. Okay, we're going to start with the sacral chakra bowl. going to do the heart chakra. Okay, and now we're going to do the throat chakra. Okay, and now we are going to do the crown chakra. Okay, you guys. So take a deep breath and keep your feet on the ground. Okay, drink some water. It's going to help. And you guys, go ahead and give Phoenix Empress a thank you because she just paid for that Reiki session. So thank you, Phoenix Empress. I love you so much. Thank you guys for all of your support, your love, your donations, all of that. It means the world to me. I love you so much, you guys. Go out there and be your best selves. Make sure you drink water with the Reiki. It's going to help flush the lower frequencies out, okay? I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful evening, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. God bless you guys.